start barking to know what happens. I'm gonna have to hold on. Can we? Or we go live? Okay. Can you hear that or not? Are you able to hear any of that?
Yeah, I hear that, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
You want to go take care of it? That's fine
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
If
Let me
you go
take care of it
take
real
it.
quick. Let me take care of it real.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to watching another episode of Human Intelligence. And today I'm going to have Neil Haley with me. And we're going to talk about how to come back from whatever you haven't happened in your life. He's going to talk about his comeback and how to think out of box. So that's what we're gonna focus on, and we'll see how the conversation will go. We have a little bit delay. He's going to come back in a little bit, so
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back now. I'm back now. So.
Oh, wait.
Okay, great, awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited and to talk with you about the comeback and my career and my businesses and all that stuff. So, thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to the combo.
Yeah, welcome. It's going to be interesting conversation. So, what is your comeback? What is your comeback from what?
So the comeback is basically I was a former professional wrestler. In 1999, I retired in Bremen, Germany. I wrestled in about half the states of the United States, Canada, and Germany. Was a minor league professional wrestler. And I, years later, walked away. And I had regrets. I'm like, okay, now I'm 51. I guess when I walked away, we got to figure out the math. I was 26, right? And it's something where I just said there was something missing. I wanted another comeback. But also because as a marketer, I see the missing component in marketing is how can you differentiate yourself in a bloody ocean of people at marketing agencies? You know, you look at the Neil Patels of the world or the Gary V's of the world, or the influencers like Alex Hormozy and how they, their marketing and how they do it. But guess what? None of them are a professional wrestler. And then you look at other competitions. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to figure out a way to go and elevate my personal brand even more. And I'm going to go back into the ring. So I'm in the process of training right now, lifting, getting back in shape, going to the ring, and I should be making my comeback in about 4 months. And I'm in negotiations for a documentary that's going to follow me all over the place with the top award-winning producer and everything like that. So it's an exciting time, but it was all started by just saying, I'm going to do it. Like I even am going to step up the game of my celebrity interviews where I interview major celebrities, but now want to even do more. So 2024 is all about more. 2024, so the comeback is part of it, but everything together is if you really put your mind, you could do something, you do it. Why are you going to limit yourself? You need to do whatever you can to be a successful brand. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm putting myself out there. When I tell my clients, they got to put themselves out there. I kind of been taking a step back from doing that for a while, even though I've been there, done it in many years, and said, I'm going to do it now myself.
Okay, that's amazing.
So there you go. So the process, it's way to brand yourself, because without brand, you're nothing. If people don't know you and know, like, and trust you, and you try to sell a product or service, you're done. And a lot of people go and sell the product and service before they are a brand. Well, I'm taking it to a next level. I want to go to the next level as an entrepreneur to the top earners. And what do? They have even a higher brand. And I want to get to that level. Well, what's the best place to do it? Build an audience of professional wrestling fans, build them as your followers, go viral on specific things, create a documentary, do a couple movies, and boom, you're sitting there and your brand's even at a higher level.
And people a lot of times they don't understand what means personal brand. It's pretty much like there's a certain amount of people who know you right away. So that's your personal brand. If people recognize you, it doesn't have to be that everybody is recognizing you, but there's like amount of people in that whatever you're doing that they know you as that person.
And they already do. This is more to try to create a lifestyle brand. If you look at all the big time people, because when you build that lifestyle brand, like The Rock has built a lifestyle brand, like Grant Cardone's built a lifestyle brand. It was not just before he was real estate. Now he's everything. The Sharks have did a lifestyle program. Once you have that lifestyle brand, you're scaling to everyone, and the only way to do it. And you look at Logan Paul, you look at all these specific people. You look at they partner with big companies and businesses and stuff like that. And then in 2024, one of the goals is I want to be the CMO and help other companies go to the next level, almost like an Alex Hormozy, and saying, guess what? Your company's a profitable company. Let me come in and take it to the next level for you by providing my marketing. So bottom line, at the end of the day, it's all about brand. And so, yes, creating a personal brand to your audience, that's important. But if you want to create a lifestyle brand, so you go to virality type things, you have to do things out of the box, like go back into professional wrestling at 51 and create a documentary so that it could get sold to Netflix or Amazon or one of the streaming platforms. And then you're on to the next level. People don't understand. Once you get to that celebrity level and you have a great product or service, everyone wants to partner with you. It won't be hard to get business, and you can utilize that, but you just got to figure out what your total addressable market, which your TAM is, and then go from there. And if you have a larger total addressable market that you can go to, that's a big thing. Look at Neil Patel. Neil Patel is out there promoting to the masses. However, his big is Fortune 500 companies to do the digital marketing, but everyone knows Neil Patel is a digital marketer, but he went viral on YouTube. So you have to look at the specific things, and once you build that brand to a successful level, because there's so many levels, then it's game on. Like I talk to celebrities all the time. I said, you have a personal brand that some people know you really, really well. Well, that's the game changer. But then they don't understand, how can I make money with that brand? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much,
Yeah. And what I wanted to say, wrestling. So wrestling that's the one that is real, or which
like
one?
WWE, WCW.
Is not real?
No, this is real professional wrestling. It's like TNA, AEW, WWE, just in the minor leagues aspect. I'm going to be going back to an organization called PWX. They're out in Pittsburgh. I'm already training over there with the guys. I really don't need to train as much to get back in shape, because I could literally wrestle right now if I wanted to. I'm just getting in the shape process, all those things to compete, and then to want to travel all over the United States. All the states I wrestled in before, Canada, and hopefully Germany at the finish of the documentary. So I'm going and getting involved in all those things. So pro wrestling is the real professional wrestling, the stuff in the WWE, the stuff that people know. It's just there's a minor league background to get to the next level. And I'm going to show it by getting back in the ring at 51. But the story that makes it different is that I have not wrestled professionally full-time since 1999. A lot of guys have made 15 comebacks, but yet they were full-time each time. I've not been full-time since 1999. So the business has changed in so many directions, so many ways. I was watching the Royal Rumble, and I'm like, this is a different business. It's not the business when I was in the Attitude Era in the 1990s. How can I figure all that out? But I'm utilizing the marketing end of things to make it happen. Because here's the thing, people, when they buy, they don't buy on the best. They buy on somebody interesting. They buy on brand recognition, know, like, and trust, and they buy on somebody who's interesting. Let me give you an example. When I had my tutoring business still, which I'm relaunching in 2024, that's another one of my projects to relaunch my tutoring business, which I had years ago. When I started doing celebrity interviews, my tutoring business, my worth for what I could charge families for tutoring went up 5 times. Why? Not because of my tutoring skills, because of my brand interviewing celebrities. People were so interested. I can't believe you interviewed this celebrity. I can't believe you talked to this guy. I can't believe you talked to that guy. That's just like getting in pictures with celebrities. Being a celebrity entrepreneur, which Clint Arthur is a big fan on. He teaches specifically ways to become a celebrity entrepreneur. In your space, if you're a celebrity entrepreneur, people are going to be more interested, cool to talk about, and say, you're a fun guy to talk to. You're the high happiness expert. If you stay happy, people are going to want to be around happy people, not people that are have a horrible outlook on life, have a horrible situation. That's not who they want to be around. They want to surround themselves with interesting, happy people that have extraordinary lives. And that's what I'm trying to do, create an extraordinary life.
Mm-hmm. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I had one question. One person, like Joe Rogan, he did something. Did he do wrestling or what kind of? He did some kind of
No, he
sport.
was MMA. He was one of the commentators in MMA, but he was an actor before. Here's the thing. He definitely used his personal brand in relationships. Yeah, he was a semi-known comedian. Then he went to the UFC, and it skyrocketed his brand.
Okay.
Give an example that where he was doing commentating in the UFC, building all those relationships, understanding the men that watch the UFC. He took that audience, moved them over to a podcast, figured out what men like, and it skyrocketed to the Joe Rogan Experience. But now, if you look at that and say, oh, it was just his podcast, if he was an unknown person that no one knew, because people did know Joe Rogan from the UFC broadcasts, even if they didn't know any of his comedy movies or things he did before, it skyrocketed him. So he used his personal brand, meaning as an actor and presenter and talk show host, to go into the UFC, build that huge audience using someone else's platform, and then create his own platform to where he is today. That was a great point. A lot of people think Joe Rogan's a genius. He was a nobody, and then he started his podcast. Incorrect. He used the UFC, built that audience, came back and dominated. But he's a genius in understanding what men want, how he understands what they want to talk about. He speaks their language. But I think he learned a lot of it in the UFC. That's my belief. And learned a lot of it from the whole organization. When you think about how UFC has built personal brands, Conor McGregor is one of the biggest examples of that, and how Conor McGregor now, after he's not really fought as much anymore, he partnered in all these businesses. And he, again, used his personal brand to connect with other products and services and go. A lot of people think if I create a podcast, that's going to make me all my money. No, you need to use your podcast, your radio show, your live stream to build relationships. That's where the monetization comes, not your number of downloads, not any of that stuff. So again, I guess we're going back to personal brand. Joe Rogan is a great example of that, because right now, let me give an example. I interviewed someone from Law and Order this week. I interviewed somebody from The Irrational this week. I interviewed these people. What if I start and I had a conversation with somebody else about, hey, I'm producing movies now. I'm working with a production company. Hey, let's come up with a game plan to work with each other. Well, you're not going to be able to do that without a personal brand. That you get in front of the right people. You surround yourself with the right people. As my mentor, Gigi Reynolds, says, it works out for you.
Mm-hmm. And those people, when you talk about that, because you have your own podcast, when you talk, like you said, you have talked with a lot of really big celebrities. So have any of them talked about comeback?
I mean, we've talked about it. I was making this, I was teasing this comeback 4 years ago. I had Riddick Bowe on, two-time heavyweight champion of the world boxing, and I challenged him to a pro wrestling match. I had this in my idea. How am I going to come back, and how am I going to build this? And I challenged Riddick Bowe. I've challenged other people as well on the podcast. So I always had that inkling of a comeback. I'm now going to be talking to a lot of people more about it, but I'm also going to talk about these business opportunities. I'm working on a bunch of other businesses right now, and in the works of 2024. You build and surround. So here's the other thing about brand awareness. Your level of revenue you generate every year is so important to get to the next people where you'll get to talk to them. And that opportunity. I'm in conversations right now with Linda McMahon to come back on my show. Here's a crazy thing. Linda didn't respond to my LinkedIn 2 years ago after I had her from a publicist 7 years ago. Linda McMahon is the wife of former WWE chairman Vince McMahon. And she also was in the cabinet for President Trump. So she's really high influence, billionaire from WWE. That's what they said. She's a billionaire. So basically, she went ahead, and I reached out again. She said yes because I optimized my LinkedIn profile. How did I? And that's brand building, right? And I optimized it using Google Bard, using AI. AI told me how to write out all my accolades and put it in my LinkedIn. It makes it more intriguing. So she saw my message. She read my LinkedIn not bio, but my tagline, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And she reached out to me and says, "I'll get you in charge and trust to my personal assistant." So this is what I'm trying to explain to you: is that you constantly have to build that personal brand. If you leave it go, then people aren't going to do the research to find out about you. So how can I get involved with celebrities? How can I write a book? How can I create a podcast? How can I, get mentioned in magazines and all these different things? That's all part of the brand building process.
Mm-hmm. Neil, I was thinking right now, do you remember that moment, I think last year, where Elon Musk and the Facebook guy, they were trying to they were playing around doing wrestling.
Oh, that was for UFC. They were thinking of fighting in a UFC battle. That's a mixture between WWE. Yeah, that because they knew they needed something to get to the top of the page. Press is good if it's bad press or good press. It's the same deal, right?
Yeah. So I was just thinking, maybe you would take Elon Musk for a wrestling match.
I would love to challenge Elon Musk to a pro wrestling match in space, in Mars. I'll be ready when he has his colonization in Mars. That'll be in 30 years, right? Elon and I will still, hopefully we'll figure out ways to regenerative medicine to be still young. Elon, I think, is close to my age or a little bit older, but guess what? In 30 years when he has this, but no, I would challenge any of those people. Who I would challenge first to a professional wrestling match. If I was thinking certain people, you go out and say, okay, Alex Ramosi, you're the big weightlifter, you're the big health guy. Why don't you get in the ring with me and see if all the health challenges and stuff would be able to last with me in the ring? So I challenge Alex Ramosi. So who cares? That's the thing. You put something out there, you get your press team to go and cover it, make a virality, and then it goes viral. I've had situations like that when I was on Twitter with education, when I used to do a live show education-wise, and I've also made some viral stuff happen. And this was interesting when I interviewed the person who considered killed Michael Jackson. And I interviewed him, and then I had tagged Michael Jackson people. They didn't like it. So when he was going out there, Conrad Murray, when I interviewed Conrad Murray. So you have to figure out what's my way that I'm going to be out of the box as this title comes, right? How do you think out of the box to build and to become successful? I just tell you, if you partner with me and you do celebrity interviews with me, and you build a relationship with that celebrity, and you go on and cut a business deal with them, you got to be ready, right? You got 20 minutes for that celebrity. How can I hit it off that celebrity that I reach out later to them and they say, hey, I want to work with you? So it's all about action after it happens. So another one is I interviewed Huntley from The Voice that just won The Voice season 24. He said to me in the green room, I want you to choke slam me. Message me on Instagram. Well, I did reach out via Instagram and he didn't come back to me. But if I would reach out to his agent or PR team and say, hey, Huntley, I'm making a wrestling comeback, send me a documentary, maybe Huntley will wrestle me in the documentary. So you always got to be open for opportunity because you don't know when opportunity is going to knock. And it always knocks in the strangest ways. You just got to be open to it. A lot of people aren't open to it.
Mm-hmm. It's also not to get distracted when some people say, like you were just saying, they say no, but they might say no now, like you said, and they say yes later. It just takes time
100%.
sometimes. And people get so discouraged from the first no, then they're never going to try again. But the more things you try, it's about trying 10 things and one thing will work.
Totally. That's a great example of I've had clients that have become clients of mine where it took 7 years to finally they became a client. They're a relationship, and then they say, hey, I want to do something. Or they take a break. They're on their own journey. Then you reach back out to them and say, hey, this is what I have now. Oh, I want to work with you. You just don't know when those doors are going to open. Never do.
Mm-hmm. That's how it works. So for your own beside comeback, what is the one that you're doing for the businesses? Or do you do just businesses, or you do person by just?
I work with personal brands and business brands as well. I'm more of a customized social media management, podcast production, SEO, website, whatever we do in one as Media Giant Marketing. You go to neilhaley.com, you'll check out all the different brands. I also have a publishing company called Hollow Man Publishing, where we will publish your book, cover, edit, all those things, and to market. It's one where you pay. It's not like we just publish your book and a traditional publisher, but we're a vanity publisher that is not as expensive as some of the people are going, because you can't afford to spend $12,000 on publishing. Your return on investment is going to take a long time. So we have a more affordable option, but we also give you the understanding. Don't spend so much on publishing your book. Spend your money on marketing the book. Because a lot of people publish a book and then they sit down. So I do that. I also have a virtual assistant company called American Made VA. And that's where VA services that are done in the US. So it could be anyone that's working in the US. But the difference is that you don't have to talk to your VA. You work with our project management team, come up with a plan. We train them, and then you don't have to worry about things. A lot of times you have a VA and you're spending 6 hours a day on that VA, and you're worth $2,000 to $3,000 an hour as a business owner. If you're not thinking that you're worth that and you're just going to spend hours training an assistant, it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying as well. Always say with the book, same thing that you were saying, the marketing, with anything, with any business and everything like this, the marketing part is what's important. Because to publish the book is actually kind of easy, but if you don't market that book at all, then you might have zero sales.
Totally. You're not going to have any sales. And it's all about personal brand. And how much are you really reaching out to your audience? When you launch a book, you need to spend 3 months before the book's launched, once you hire a publisher, or 2 months, and start the marketing then. Don't start the marketing day one when your book's out. It's too late. And you have to go into those different things, but you can get book sales later, but it's a process. People have to see your stuff a bunch of times. And one of the quick secrets for anyone that's written a book, the people that are going to buy books are people who've written books. So more authors buy other authors' books. They do it to support them. They do it in a way they're interested and intrigued about them. They're going to be a big market for you and your genre. Your friends and family are going to buy your book as well. So you have to look at it, it's like a network marketing product, right? You can go ahead and find your friends and family and get 100 people to sign up, but it's not your own product. Imagine doing that for your business. Imagine doing that for your personal brand. Alex Hormozi talks about that, going to acquisition.com. He offers 2 free amazing trainings. I recommend anyone everyone is a marketer. I don't care if you are a marketing agency or you're not, you're a marketer. Everyone's a marketer. Anyone that has anything out on the internet's a marketer, and they got to learn everything in marketing. Go to Hormozi's trainings, because a lot of it, people take 5 steps ahead before 1 step back. You got to market to the people who know you the most, your friends and family, your followers. Then you market to the other audience. People make a mistake. They market first to people they don't know. You're going to have a lot less success than building a relationship. Now you and I have a relationship. Hopefully offline, we can work together in some sort of way. That's the power of building a relationship. Don't think that your cold audience is going to be the ones that are going to lead you to sales right now. You have to facilitate that cold audience, but you have a warm audience right now in your phone, all your social media followers, anyone that's on your email list. They're the first people you sell your product or service to. It's not the cold market. I mean, and if I would go back, the funny thing is I go and spend time on Facebook, and that's how I met you. I just was going and scrolling through Facebook in a group, and someone offered a guest appearance. Say, I'll jump on it. You're the only second one I've done in this year. I want to do more. I got to schedule a bunch of them, but a lot of times people don't follow through to make sure that I come on a show. I do 20 interviews a week for my show. So anytime I get to be a guest, it's a cool thing because you don't get a lot of them. And I'll definitely be getting out, promoting it because I love to be a guest of other people's podcasts. And every time I've gone on a podcast, a relationship is developed. Some of them really big, others, okay. But it's still always a great thing.
Yeah, and you can see with the people who are already been podcasting for years and years, you see how their like you were saying, relationship grows, and they do other projects together. Exactly what you talk about. They doing other projects together. They keep on coming back to the show with the big guests, and it's just really the relationships like that are really important. That's the way I started as well. Like now I've done over 60 podcasts with 60 different people, but now I'm already starting getting some people back for different topics and everything like this. But I remember the beginning still too. So I started with, and the person actually that I started with beginning was how I started mine, because I was in somebody else's podcast and I wanted to do my own, and she was my first guest.
Right. And this is where people look at downloads more than relationships. I don't have that. Why don't you build that relationship with that person? Think about, this is the networking of 2024's podcasting, or Zoom calls, or virtual coffees. The days of Clubhouse, which I miss. I was, I guess, an OG in Clubhouse. I ended up having 6.7 thousand followers on Clubhouse till they converted away from that. That was the first ever social audio app right during the pandemic. I got a lot of sales from it, but I got to present in front of big groups and podcasting with Club Pod and all those things. But I always followed up with that virtual coffee where we'd have that call outside of the platform. I would never sell on stage. Well, I've made my personal Clubhouse my podcast. And it's been the best thing financially for my business. It's grown my business. And now I want to teach other people the power of networking and the power of relationships. But see, are you going to jump on a call with somebody that's not got things going on? So it's all about your mindset, your confidence. How much of you as a happiness coach is believing in yourself, right?
Yeah. And that's how it in the beginning started. Like when I was when do I put like the expert in the back? So I was like, do I put the expert in the back? Because it was first I was just teaching it. I was like, well, now I'm at the point. I actually even Googled like what you can do, say what is the expert is like when somebody asks you and you know that you can come up with the answer. And pretty much like if somebody asks me about happiness, I'll come up with the answer. That depends what the answer is. But that's when I was like, okay, yeah, I do feel now confident that I can put the expert in the back.
No, you totally have to do that. The expert in the back, having those conversations, developing. And you know what? I'm going to talk about mindset is such an important thing. I truly do believe in the law of attraction, but I'm also believing in a bunch of other laws as well. And our brains, our energy, and the way we communicate with other people, it's so, so important. So if I get on a call and say, I got to get this sale, instead of how am I going to help this person? And they're going to come on as a client, or they're going to build a relationship, and I'm going to make a difference with that person, and I'm going to learn something from them. You're not going to say, man, I didn't get that sale, because it's a numbers game. You know how many people don't know how to sell but spend so much money in marketing? If you don't know how to sell, don't spend a lot in marketing, because you need to learn to sell. Great sales coach that I learned a lot from, Harry Spate, Selling with Dignity. He talked about that. But I also have studied other ones. Alex Hormozi is the sales guru. And the reason is because he tells you, you gotta do a lot of stuff. You can't just do something. You got to do it all. Be all in. Grant Cardone, 10X. Got to 10X this. 10X whatever you're doing that works. Don't 10X stuff that doesn't work. And people do that. But so I believe in that, and I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in all these different things, and I literally will write down things and create them. I'm create things out of nowhere and say, I'm going to create this. When I was talking about people with law of attraction, I think The Rock really believes in that. He uses a lot of what he did in Ballers, and he created it completely in his real life, which is so amazing when he did Ballers on HBO. That now he has created exactly what his character created, except he's not an owner of an NFL team. He's the owner of WWE now, a partial owner. He did the same thing. And, there's just so many people out there that practice and believe in themselves. And that's the successful people. If you don't believe in yourself, if you're not confident in what you have to say, and then, you might sound like you're confident on the podcast, but then you get in a sales call and say, I think I can do this, or yeah, we'll do this, but you're not confident to be able to do it. They just feel it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was thinking what you were saying before we were talked about the follow-up part. And if people, when you meet somebody in some kind of event and you get the card or something.
Oh, none of us follow up. We have to.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like I always if that person is somebody that I want to really have a relationship with, but I don't have anything to offer right now to work with them, I at least send an email about oh, it was nice to meet you and all this. So there's a contact, there's a relationship already with that one email. And then later on, let's say I reach out in 6 months, a year, or 2 years from now, I have something that I would like to do with that person, or business, or some kind of business I want to do with them. I can easily do it because they already know me. By that, I followed up.
Network marketers are the very best, the gurus in network marketing. I'm not saying I'm a fan of it, but my mentor GJ Reynolds did this, and I take a look at this all the time. If we would spend more time, I was speaking to a potential client today, who's going to be a client, but you don't always guarantee. I think she will, but when I had that conversation with her, she talked about 3 to 4 hours a day she spent creating content. Ding, 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 ding. Wrong. Spend 3 to 4 hours reaching out to people and scheduling those calls, and your business is going to dominate. The mistake we make is, and Hormozi talks about this, there is a stage in everything. You don't go into the stage of creating a course, a program, all those things. You have a bunch of coaching clients. You don't go and create group coaching until you have that. You don't go and run Facebook ads or do email marketing campaigns or spend money on Google and SEO until you have hit your your warm market completely. People make the mistake, and so spend your time in relationships. Have those calls and identify. Okay, let me give you an example. I found out, I'm not going to tell you my percentage rate, but if I have my podcast is how I get sales. And if I get X amount of people on, I close X. So I'm going to 10X it this month. So and it's a pretty good percentage. What if I 10X this? What would that look like? How would I picture my business now doing that? Instead of saying, okay, I've had really good success with this. Now I'm going to try Facebook ads. No, when you can't meet with anybody anymore and you're ready to create an automated course. So there has to be stages in your business and scaling a business. And I decided, instead of scaling into coaching and group coaching, I might create some masterminds where people could just hang out with me in Vegas or LA and hang out with celebrities. And then they can learn from me, and specifically in sales, and have some presentations, but no coaching, and maybe meet monthly to talk about things. But I really am going to focus on creating new businesses, because the money is in serial entrepreneurship. The money is in having many forms and streams of revenue. It's not in just doing and focusing on one thing.
Mm-hmm. And how do you see it for future right now as well? With the AI is taking so much over as well. So how do all the businesses that have to get involved in it, and that's going to change?
That's going to hurt. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
You think it's going to hurt? I think you have to learn how
to have to learn AI. Yeah. AI is going to take over everything.
It doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm. AI is going to take over everything. It really concerns me now. It's not as obedient AI chatbots as they were 2 months ago, and that's going to hurt a lot of people who thought they're going to use all their marketing for AI. AI only does not think out of the box. You have to make it think out of the box. And you have to treat AI like it's your personal robot. The problem is that personal robot used to be obedient a year ago. Now they're not obedient. So it can become very frustrating. A proposal I could have written with AI 2 months ago to customize, it takes 3 times as long to write now. So what is that telling me? I was concerned in about 4 years that marketing would be taken over by AI. That's why I'm launching other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I think now AI is getting the plug pulled. This is my conspiracy theory. They're not going to make AI take over human jobs as fast as they thought they wanted to, as Sam Altman was doing. They pulled back Sam Altman. Google Bard pulled back its ability and are making it more difficult to create things that humans should do. An example, I want a lawyer to write a contract for me. 6 months ago, that chatbot would write it. Now they say, ethically, I don't recommend you do this. I recommend you consult an attorney. Why now does it say that? Because they were afraid that AI is going to take over the world. It still will, because here's the problem. A lot of hackers can go in, use that chat bot, break through it, get it to answer other questions, write a different program, and it will replace jobs. But they're not allowing these versions to do that. But I recommend you got to stay in touch on top of AI. You got to keep working with AI, but you ultimately have to go to back and forth from ChatGPT to Google Bard, back and forth to ChatGPT to Google Bard and other AI bots, and have communication with each one of them. And use it not just for knowledge and comprehension questions. Use it for application, synthesis. This is Bloom's taxonomies at its best. And utilize that chatbot for those types of higher order thinking answers as you ask higher order thinking questions than just asking broad, simple questions. They love giving you the answer because you can literally go to Google and get the same answer or even a better answer on Google than on Bard or ChatGPT. So you really have to think out of the box when you're using AI. Just think about the pandemic. We thought the same thing. Marketing's we're never going to meet person to person. Online marketing is going to be the only way. No one's going to go back to face-to-face meetings. They're all back in face-to-face meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Radio's dead. Radio's never going to do anything. Radio's still not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Mailers are never going to work anymore. Mailers are back.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always these conspiracy theories or these people coming out with different things and saying, oh, it's over. You'll never be able to do this again. Yeah, if you say that to yourself, you will never be able to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say it's going to work because it's worked for me, keep on doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the humans, we still there's going to be AI doing their own things as well, but humans still need human-to-human connections. That's never going to go away.
Oh, that will never. And I think coaching will be something that will attest the test of time. The first thing they said is ChatGPT is going to destroy coaching. It's not. Because
no.
You really got to be a really good thinker to use AI. And AI is not to replace a coach because people need coaches to have that motivation. I can go do it. Mm-hmm. You could have somebody who lays something out for you, but unless you have somebody cheering you on, everyone needs that first advocate. Your first advocate changes your life completely. Then you have self-confidence and you don't need an advocate anymore. But a lot of people need that reassurance with a coach. And I hope the coaching business never goes away. I just hope AI increases our productivity, makes life easier, but also makes it better for people to do things and increase that productivity for the client. I hope the AI never replaces that person because I don't think it's going to. That's the prediction I'm in.
Yeah, I don't think it will either because even there's going to be people who are going to need that coach to coach them through using AI,
Oh, yeah.
So they're just going to need somebody in between. They're still going to need human between the human and AI there's so many
it hurts the people that are in the office working as marketing directors, all those different things, thought leaders. You can't be just an idea guy, even though I am an idea guy. You have, because ideas are thrown out the window. You have to be a strategist and deliver on what you promise. If you don't do that stuff, forget about it. You're done.
And like you said, you have to have something on the side as well that sets you away from others, which is you doing that with the wrestling. So people that have like, okay, it's not just another marketing guy. He also does so many other things.
And see, that is what everyone tells me not to do. Because remember, everyone says the niches are in the riches. Maybe they're for your first 100,000, 200,000, or million. But do you think Elon Musk is in the niches? Do you think Jeff Bezos is in the niches? Do you think Donald Trump is in the niches? Do you think that Grant Cardone is in the niches? No, the sharks are in the niches. How many portfolios of different businesses and different industries do they have?
Oh, we don't even know.
Oh, yeah. And all over the world. So why did they talk about? I'm going to challenge people today. Why are always people trying to train people on the niches or in the riches? And the fact of the matter is, at the beginning, yes. When you scale, no. That's the problem.
It holds back a lot of people. It holds back from what other things they can do as well. You know, like,
and that's what makes life fun, right? That's why I want to be an agent, sports agent. And that's why I want to be a movie producer. How can I be that if I'm only focusing on podcasting?
Exactly. I have all kinds of those things as well in my list. And I, like you were saying, it's so fun for all the viewers as well. Have the list of things that you have the ideas for. And then it might be something seems unrealistic now, but you're going to notice like year or 2 years from now, you're going to check it out like, oh, I did it.
Right. And it becomes fun. What am I going to create next? Give an example. I shouldn't be talking about this, but guess what? I didn't sign an NDA. Once I went with PWX and I'm working with them and their foundation safe, we're working on a 24/7 television network and I'm going to be a part of it. Would I have been a part of it if I decided to go into wrestling? And that could be syndicated on 60 different television stations all over the United States at one point in time. That's opening me my door into the television game. Like, you just never know. Like, I'm talking to people and now I could represent them to get them on Comic-Cons. It's ridiculous if you're open to things. So the niches and the riches and like Clubhouse, oh, you should just focus on podcasting. Oh, and now niche down to the medical community. That's boring. I want something fun every day. My day started out, I had a sales call. I'm on live with you on Saturday, talking and having fun. Then I'll go to my regular life and different things, but I'm location independent. Then when I want to turn things on again, I'll turn things on again. And then I'll say, hey, I'm interviewing this celebrity, but hopefully my documentary will show I'm not just going and I'm going to train to wrestle tomorrow, that they're going to see the whole Neil. And I had a goal of a reality television show that's still out in the works. I've been working on that 20 years ago. Never know when that opportunity comes. You just got to be open to it because when it comes, it's going to shock you.
And have fun doing it.
Yes.
That's the important part, like, because your life gonna, like, one point I say it's on, some people don't like to hear it. So it's like, there's going to be a day we're going to die, you know? There's going to be that day anyway.
And it could be, so to make this day your best day possible. And when we're kind of complaining about things, we're missing a boat. Because what I have created in my life and what I've accomplished is what 90% of the world has never accomplished, or maybe 95% of the world has never accomplished. It's fun. I mean, I was the top 500 wrestler in the world. I'm number 6 celebrity podcast in the world according to FeedSpot. I'm a certified teacher. I have a master's degree in education. I own multiple companies. How many people can say they've done that? And I want to make it even more of a storybook life. I wish that people could become creators, because we can become creators. And when people see this interview, say, Neil, we're used to you interviewing people. I want you to become a creator. What do you want to do that's stopping you today? Go do it. And whatever happens, you at least did it.
Yeah. And then
don't look at other people. Don't look at other people. Don't compete. Even though one of my top 5 talents, according to Gallup, is competition. And I'm trying to get rid of that because I'm not competing with other people. I'm competing with myself every day. to be the very best I can be and how I can continue to learn and step up my game. We're, increasing my sound quality, even though I'm using my Bluetooth right now. I have my professional mic. I just moved into my new home. So I am still in that process, but I'm not going to hold back. Say, we're going to hold off on this interview for a couple of weeks. No, I have 100 other projects. So I said, yes, I'll do it. Here's the other mistake people make. They ask for an audience of a podcast. They ask for certain things. What is this? What's in for me? No. How are you going to give to somebody else?
And
so how are you going to give? Don't think of what are they going to give me today. And I think that's the one I can't wait to meet to Gary V. I'm going to say, Gary, you give so much to other people. You give inspiration. You give these different things. And I really commend you for that fact. And you don't live off your ego. And that's what you got to do, is be a giver and create whatever you like to create. Is Gary V a diversified person? Is he niche? No. He has multiple businesses, started out in the wine industry, went to these other things. Yes, you have to niche first. I guess I niched first with tutoring, right? Having a tutoring business. That was the first one of my businesses. I guess I niched first for having a professional wrestling talk show over 27 years ago. So yes, in education, when I first had my education talk show, I was niche. But to become a lifestyle brand, to be able to continue to create wealth, you have to. I'm telling you this, you have to diversify and you have to be open to any opportunity.
Even like little things that you do for, exactly like you said, you do for fun. You can see those big celebrities and things, or like for Grant Cardone, he did like just a little role in some kind of side role in a movie, probably just to try it,
Yeah.
And there was just I was watching with my daughter. I was watching the kids show, which is Young Sheldon. I don't know. I watched the Young Sheldon. Next thing, Elon Musk is in a show, like pretty much like in one of the episodes, playing that he stole one of his ideas from Young Sheldon.
That's funny.
It's just like randomly. I'm watching a show. Next thing, he's right there, like
himself in specific things. Look at this. The Rock is back. He's gonna be be part of WrestleMania. Meaning he's gonna be the main event against. Oh my gosh, it'll come to me. But I'm just saying that's the crazy stuff.
And that's for my own personal life. For the way I go for like the main thing is variety. That's always in my mind.
Yeah, like, and if you don't have fun, that's what's part of being happiness, right? Having fun.
Having fun and have this variety. And some people like stable things, so that's okay for them. They just have to know that that's for them. But the other people who feel lack of something, they know that what's missing is that variety that we're talking about.
Absolutely. Wow. It's crazy. We will talk about thinking out of the box, but I guess the theme goes back to think about a box. What can you do that's crazy, that's going to disrupt your competition today? I chose professional wrestling to become a pro wrestler again. What is going to be your out of the box crazy thing to do? What are you going to do to differentiate yourself? It might be create a podcast in an industry that no one has a podcast. It might be just to turn on the record and get on a live pot to do something live. It could be as simple as build a website now. You never know. Some industries don't have websites. You just don't know what that out of the box thing. It could be deciding to lose 50 pounds. I don't know. But I came up with one of the craziest ones.
So that's fun. And I would say for one thing for parents as well, because I'm a parent. So I'm trying to create it. My daughter is 9 years old, but I already like creating. She's done more, and she knows as well, more than some people do in their lifestyle, like all their life. I had one of her writings already published in a local magazine. I just got it in there. And she flew a plane. Like I wanted to fly a plane, so I did one of those exploration flights or something like this. When you go with the pilot, and then they give you the wheel for a little bit. So I was doing it for myself, and then they said somebody who worked there said that they had it for the gift for their 6-year-old son, and I was like, oh. So you can do it when you're 6 years old. So I booked another one for my daughter when she was 6. So she already have flown a private, like the little private planes by herself at 6 years old.
Wow. It's so that's it. They're doing something fun and interesting and intriguing. Awesome.
So that's cool. Okay, Neil, that was a lot of good advice and everything, a lot of very good interview as well. But we're getting closer to that end. So all my guests, I asked 2 questions. One is, what is happiness for you? Not that what happiness means to other people or what everybody thinks happiness is, but just for you. What is happiness for you?
To create happiness for me would definitely be to continue to be a divine creator and creating whatever I create in family life, in business, to live the life that truly is what I was created to live. That's what happiness is for me. So it doesn't happen overnight. You are improving in so many areas, and a lot of stuff we might have not done well because I did not know this secret till really getting it 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, to really understand it now and how I have to create that. But you have to create what makes you happy. And if certain things that other people think is wrong that makes you happy, too bad. It's about your happiness first. You can't make other people happy unless you're happy. I can't make my clients happy. I can't make my family happy. I can't make anything unless I'm making myself happy. And that's what I define as happiness.
Awesome. I like that one. And next question is name something really specific, everyday items or activities that really easy, that make you feel happy.
Doing podcasting. Podcasting and coaching. Those two. If I'm doing the other stuff behind the scenes in the business, creating videos, doing content, no. Podcasting and coaching. That's what those everyday activities make me so happy.
That's awesome. Okay. Do you have any final thoughts for the viewer as well?
Okay. So if you enjoyed this interview and you want to have an opportunity, I'm going to offer you, if you're a business owner or you have a brand or you have something to sell, to be a guest on my show. So you just go ahead and follow me on social media, just DM me. That's the first thing, to be a guest on my show. If you are interested in the agency, go to neilhaley.com and schedule a call with me today. I'd rather you go do the podcast with me first to build the relationship. But if you're looking for a one-stop shop in marketing, go to neilhaley.com. If you want to follow me on all the social media, go there, DM me, say, I want to be a guest on the Neil Haley Show. You're a guest. And say you listen to this live show, you're a guest. But ultimately, I'd love to work with you in any other way. We got to build a community and everything like that. And the experiences that you can learn. So I'd say 2024 marketing is podcasting. You know, I'm not niching. I'm going to tell you, it's the best sales strategy possible is podcasting. You can make so much money in your business. You can create so many relationships, and you can have a life-changing life if you do that. That's it.
Awesome. Okay. So thank you so much, Neil. Thank you for all your advice. And that was a great interview with a lot of information.
All right. Thank you again. I really appreciate you inviting me on your show.
I would say, like, for the viewers as well, if somebody watched right now and been thinking about comeback, stop thinking. Just do it.
Yep. Just do it. Make a comeback. Go back. I mean, I'm launching my tutoring business again after taking a hiatus since COVID. And I'm really excited. And I'm going to do some of the tutoring. Not a bunch, but I want to do an SAT group class locally, like I used to do with the athletes and all that stuff. But that's in the works. That's another thing I'm creating. But just make a comeback. So and then as what LL Cool J said, don't call it a comeback. I've done it for years, or did it for years. So there you go. An LL Cool J moment for some of our audience that remembers LL Cool J.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Have a great day, and do the comeback. Whatever the comebacks are, can be smaller as well. It doesn't have to be like some big comeback if you want to do big comeback, but do the thing that you always be wanting to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.